Shalom Israel, it's Ari here again. I found this really interesting article that was published in CNN on August 7th, 2020. And it's really interesting. It has to do with players withdrawing from the NFL season. So here we go. More than 60 players withdraw from 2020 NFL season over coronavirus concerns. Over 60 players have opted out of the 2020 season because of coronavirus epidemic. Players had until 4 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday to decide, and after the deadline passed, a spokesperson for the NFL told CNN that about 2,800 players, 66 players, chose to opt out. That figure could be higher. Both NBC's Pro Football Talk and CBS reported the figure was 67 players. Three-time Super Bowl champion Dante Hightower and Marcus Cannon are among the 8 New England Patriots to opt out of the 2020 NFL season. The New England Patriots are the teams most affected, with 8 players opting out of the 2020 season, prompting much ribald thinking of Trevor comment. Highly rated Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence is expected to be drafted first overall in the 2021 NFL draft, and some fans have jokingly suggested that the team's performance this upcoming season might be reflected in a desire to gain that number 1 pick. The Patriots have lost starters like linebacker Dante Hightower and safety Patrick Chung, who have both won 3 Super Bowls with the team. 8 New England Patriot players have opted out of the 2020 season, the most of any NFL team. The first player to opt out of the season was a practicing doctor and the Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. The Canadian said in a Twitter post, "Being at the front line during this offseason has given me a different perspective on this pandemic and the stress it puts on individuals in our healthcare system. I can't allow myself to potentially transmit the virus in our communities simply to play the sport that I love. If I am to take risks, I will do it caring for patients." Players who opted out voluntarily, like Duvernay-Tardif, will receive a $150,000 salary advance, and their contract will toll to the next year. They will not earn a credit or accrued season, but will retain health insurance. Alternatively, if a player qualified as having a high-risk condition and provided proof to their team, they will receive $350,000 stipend that does not count as a salary advance, and their contract will toll. The player will earn an accrued season towards free agency as well as benefits and a minimum salary credit for a credit season, as well as retaining their health insurance too. So this is what I thought was really interesting, is that a lot of these guys that are, I guess, linebackers or something, I don't know about the positions and stuff, but they're like really big guys. And you look at people like, not in this sport, but in like Shaquille O'Neal. He was a big guy, he was fit, but now you look at his weight, he's gained a lot of weight. And so these guys, they have to like pack it on in order for them to be successful in some of the positions that they play. They're big guys. So they very well could have existing conditions that would put them at risk, high blood pressure, diabetes, and literally be obese, but be the weight they need to be in order to be successful linebackers. I think that's one of the positions that they need as defense, right? So, and they're going to give them $350,000 stipend, and it doesn't count toward their salary. They get to maintain and keep their health benefits too. So I think I think these guys would be really smart to sort of look at, they look at the long-term effects of continuing to play, right? So the Kansas City Chiefs offensive linesman and practicing doctor, I read that already, sorry guys. The Brady Bunch. Only one player has opted out from Tom Brady's new team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that offensive linesman Brad Seaton. Brady gave his first press conference as a Buccaneer on Thursday and played down personal concerns about the coronavirus, saying, "I know it's a contact sport and there are some things that are out of our control, but that's a pretty good lesson for life too. You don't have everything in your control in life either. The best thing you can do is to prepare your body, prepare your mind for whatever comes at it. You always have to be able to adjust and adapt as best as possible. But Brady acknowledged COVID-19 had posed some difficulties during his switch from Patriots to the Buccaneers. I put a lot of time and energy into making sure I'm feeling good in order to perform at my best. But mentally, I think that's been a thing that's obviously had its challenges, he said. I think you couple that with the coronavirus situation, and it became even more difficult. I think conversations we probably would have had in April we're now having. I think that part has been challenging too, but the only thing you can do is adjust to the situation, adapt the best way you can, and put as much time and energy now as we can into it. I think the reality is the clock is ticking on everybody. We're going to have to work as hard as we can and not waste any minutes of any day trying to get used to one another. We need to embrace the challenge and see it as an opportunity to see what we can become. So I think that was kind of middle of the road, kind of on the fence type of thing. You know, not encouraging anyone to not play, but at the same time acknowledging that these are trying times or whatever. But I go back to one of the things that I think, not only do people love the sport of football, as a fan, but the players love the sport of football. But I also think that, when you have people that don't want to spread the virus, because you're going to be, playing, and you're going to be, sweat and blood and all that stuff, right? And then, you're going to go back home or go back home to your family. What are you, you're going to isolate yourself for the entire season? Possibly, yeah, right? But is that ideal, So, and as far as being ADOS or Israelite or whatever, I think people need to be looking at what's actually happening spiritual that's manifesting itself in the carnal. And I think in our lifetime, in my mother's lifetime, my mother's in her mid to late 70s, she's never seen anything like this. And so this is something that that we as people, Israelites in this country, we need to really look at again, like I said in the previous video, that we really need to look at our priorities. We need to shift our priorities. We need to be smarter with our money. We need to be smarter with our how we live. We need to be preparing ourselves for, now that we're in this, we need to be preparing ourselves for, okay, how is this gonna change in 6 months? Are we gonna have a vaccine? Do I want to take the vaccine? Do I want to wait a year and a half to take it? That kind of stuff. We really just need to learn how to grow our own food. We need to learn how to live below our means. We need to focus on family. We need to focus on community, because these are the trying times that make you look at how you've been living up to this time, and especially if you have to go out and put yourself in danger, right? And to continue to support a lifestyle that may just be extreme anyway, but you didn't know if it was extreme until now. So Israel, I just wanted to give you my take on that article. Shalom.